She uncovered her husband's darkest lie. My name is Grace. I'm 32 years old, and until a few months ago, I believed I was living a peaceful, honest life with the man I loved. Aaron and I had been married for 7 years. He was quiet, composed, someone you'd trust without needing to ask why. He had a calm smile and a warm voice, the kind of man who never raised his tone, never forgot your birthday, and never let the gas tank hit empty. We lived in a white one-story house on the edge of town with a backyard full of tall pine trees and a golden retriever named Milo, who always greeted us like we were his whole world. I thought we were happy, ordinary, but happy. It started with a small thing, a receipt. I was cleaning out Aaron's coat pocket before doing laundry, something I always did, without thinking, when a folded piece of paper fell out. I picked it up casually, expecting a grocery receipt or a gas station bill, but it wasn't that. It was from a hotel, the Harbour Inn, 2 towns over. 1 room, 1 night, 2 weeks ago. The date stood out like a flare in my mind, because I remember that night clearly. He'd told me he was in Boston, attending a work dinner with clients. At first, I laughed nervously to myself. Maybe he booked a room to rest after a long meeting. Maybe he gave it to someone else. Maybe it meant nothing. I told myself this as I finished the laundry, made dinner, fed Milo, and washed the dishes. But I didn't sleep that night. I lay beside him, staring at the ceiling, his soft breathing next to me, and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Doubt. A tightness in my chest that wouldn't go away. Over the next few days, that doubt grew. I started noticing things I'd once ignored. He was texting more. He smiled at his phone sometimes. He had work trips, more often than usual. So I looked deeper. I checked our credit card statements, something I hadn't done in years. I noticed charges from places I'd never heard of. A flower shop in Seabrook, a dinner for 2 in a coastal restaurant, small gift shops, all while I had been home, cleaning, working, waiting. Still, I needed confirmation. Cold, undeniable truth. So I called the hotel. I lied and said I was his assistant, checking on a booking. The woman on the line hesitated, then said, "Yes, Mr. Aaron Wilkes stayed with us that night." I held my breath. Was he alone? Another pause. "I'm sorry, I can't disclose." "Please," I whispered, "I'm his wife." Silence. Then she said gently, "He wasn't alone, Mum." I didn't remember hanging up. I just sat there, the phone still in my hand, as my heart broke in slow motion. I stared at the wall and felt everything drain out of me, my energy, my certainty, my belief in the life I thought I had. I didn't confront him right away. I wasn't ready. I needed to know everything, so I waited. 2 weeks later, he told me. Hands were shaking, my breath short. I felt like a stranger in my own life. And then I saw him, walking out of the building with a young woman, maybe in her mid-20s. She had long hair and held his hand like it was the most natural thing in the world. They smiled, kissed, and got into a cab. I didn't cry. Not yet. That night I sat at our kitchen table with the photo on my phone. Milo rested at my feet, sensing my pain. When Aaron returned the next day, I waited until he put his suitcase down. "How was Hartford?" I asked. Voice calm. He smiled. "Long, tiring, boring meetings," I nodded. Then I slid the phone across the table. He stared at the image for a long time. He didn't lie, didn't even try. "I didn't know how to leave you," he said softly. That broke me. I wanted him to say it was a mistake, a one-time thing, that he loved me, but he didn't. "How long?" I asked. "Over a year," he said, almost shamefully. "It just happened." I felt like I was outside my body, watching a woman I barely recognized live through a nightmare. "Why didn't you say something? Why keep pretending?" "I didn't want to hurt you," he said, and somehow that hurt more than anything. "You did hurt me," I whispered. "You hurt me every day you lied." He left that night. No yelling, no slamming doors, just quiet footsteps and a silence so thick it drowned the air. The days that followed were grey and slow. I didn't eat much. I didn't sleep. I just existed. The house felt colder without his presence, yet somehow more honest. For weeks I avoided questions from friends. I let the phone ring. I told people I was fine when I wasn't. But something strange happened in that silence. I started to remember me. I began taking morning walks with Milo again. I picked up painting, something I'd abandoned years ago. I spent evenings reading by the fireplace, slowly making peace with the quiet. I got a therapist. I told her everything about the lie, the fear, the betrayal, about how I forgot who I was while being someone's wife, how I bent and shrank to keep a marriage intact, never realizing I was disappearing. It wasn't easy, healing never is. But day by day, I stitched myself back together, with paintbrushes, with journals, with honest conversations, with small joys, a hot cup of coffee, fresh air, an unexpected laugh. It's been 8 months now. The divorce is finalized. I kept the house, I kept Milo. I even kept a few photos, not of him, but of the life I once believed in. Because that Grace, the one who believed in love, still matters.
I was a very much by agency. Sometimes I still cry. Sometimes I still wonder what signs I missed. But I've stopped blaming myself. Love makes us trust.